All right, we know you love your pumpkin latte. Now try something savory. Chef Sadie Russo, owner of Bonbons Cafe and Dessert Bar and La Patisserie Française, dishes it up.
We're talking about pumpkin today, and it can be so versatile this time of year. So what are you making for us today?
I am making a roasted pumpkin and onion dish, and it has cubed pumpkin that comes from pumpkin that we add red onions and white onions too to give it a different flavor. Then we add in the pumpkin seeds that came out of the pumpkin itself, walnuts for a little extra crunch, and then maple syrup and olive oil go over the top of it to give it a nice flavor. It's a little salty, it's a little sweet, kind of has everything that you kind of want in a dish together. Then you mix it all around. Make sure that you're coating all of your pumpkin and onion together. And then what you'll do is you'll take a sheet pan, like a brown pan, and throw it on there. Give it a little sprinkle of some chili peppers, red pepper flakes, and salt and pepper until you have a little heat, a little salt, a little sweet. You'd pop this in the oven at 375 for about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how your oven runs. And then it comes out nicely caramelized. Throw some feta cheese on there, add a little garnish with some parsley, and it is a really good dish. You can either serve it as a completely vegan dish, or you can serve it as a side to your main menu.
Wow, that's beautiful. And it looks so delicious. I love the spice too, because you don't really think about maybe adding some of that spiciness into a pumpkin dish. And do you use canned pumpkin, or do you prefer, you prefer fresh pumpkin because it's cut up there like that?
I kind of have a use for each one. When I like the cubes for this type of dish. So obviously a fresh pumpkin would be the best for that. But on some of our other dishes, like the bisque that I'll show you here in a minute, or some fresh ravioli, the canned pumpkin is the best part because it's already pureed for you. Otherwise, you'd have to take your whole pumpkin, roast it for a really long time, and then puree it yourself. So the canned pumpkin kind of does away with that and saves you a few steps. But this year, it seems a little hard to get that canned pumpkin at the grocery store.
Tell us a little bit about the dishes for us today.
We have a potato bisque soup that we're gonna do. First, you get your pot going over some heat. Add in a little bit of olive oil to coat the bottom of your pan. And then you have some onions, shallots, and spices that you'll add in there and get it all sizzling. Once you get that all sauteed up and the onion is nice and translucent. Oh, it smells so good in here.
I was gonna say,
I
can smell it. You can smell it.
wish we had scratch and sniff TV.
Exactly.
So once you have that, you want to add in a little bit of flour, and that will help bind the soup and make it a little thicker. And then you just want to brown that too. And then you're going to take some chicken stock. You can make it vegetable stock and make this a purely vegetarian dish too. So some chicken stock in there, and you're going to boil that and reduce it. Once that comes to a boil, you'll want to take it off the stove, and if you have an immersion blender, blend that all up so it's nice and smooth in texture. If you don't have an immersion blender, don't worry. You can use a regular blender or a food processor to make that work for you. And then you're going to put it back in the pan, warm it back up to a slight, not quite a boil, but just before it comes to a boil. And then you're going to add in some more spices, your canned pumpkin, and vanilla extract. Vanilla extract sounds a little different to have in a soup, but it's adding that sweet and savory aspect to it because we have the ginger, you add a little nutmeg or cinnamon to it as well, and you're just kind of cross-combining that sweet and savory aspect.
Oh my goodness, delicious. While we're kind of doing the soup here too, you've kept both of your bakery and your cafes open during this pandemic. I mean, is this kind of a comfort food that people could be gravitating for this fall, especially the soup you're making right now?
Oh yeah, and as the temperatures get colder, everybody wants a little bit of soup, right? You got a little warm soup belly going on, hanging out at home, working from home off your couch or your kitchen table. But our bakery has a ton of different pastries that we do as well that gravitate towards that sweet tooth that people might have that offer the comfort for people these days too.
Wow, that looks delicious. Go to Bonbons or La Patisserie Francais in Arvada. Both their locations are open, and don't forget to support your local businesses. Now, you can learn more online at bonbonsmidtown.com and lapatbakery.com.